Hi guys, hello, meet everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and today I want to give you some updates on the video yesterday called Vlog 0701-2017 open refrigerate after opening, and particularly in the area of YouTube Channel Grants. One of the Board of Trustees contacted me. He was very, very disappointed at what had happened, but he framed, what are you doing? He also was a little bit disappointed with me. I took it out to the social media, but you gotta sit down, cat, please, thank you. My cat's gonna be in my face, so I'm sorry about that. Can't help that, it's just cats, sorry. Okay, so anyway, we're aside. So he, I don't know what they're going to do about the grant money. So I just wanted to try to explain it in a more calm way. The reason why I got so ticked off. In the last few years I've been on YouTube, and even before YouTube, actually all the way back to 2nd grade, I've always had this horrible problem, and that is, she has cats giving camera lenses with their noses, is that every time somebody says they're going to do something for me, more than 75% of the time, it never happens. So every time, that means that, like I said, is like, when somebody says that they're going to do something, and for in this case, like mail a letter, or, you know, send me a piece of equipment or something. I never get the equipment, I never get the letter. It even happens sometimes when I have to meet them in person at a designated spot, they don't show up. Okay, so then all of a sudden I'm sitting there at the designated place, and they never see me, and I never see them, and of course I sit there for like 3 hours, and they never come. The mail is extremely vexing because of the fact is that I live in a multi-family dwelling, and there's a total of 10 apartments. And in these 10 apartments in this building, we have a lot of crooks. The mailboxes are not secure, so every time someone puts a piece of mail in the mailbox, especially something that sounds like money, they come out and like cockroaches, and they just go rifling through the mailboxes looking for any free money they can cash in for drugs. And that's the reason why I have been was getting very upset, because people are not to be trusted in my neighborhood, and you really can't guarantee that you're going to get anything. But even when I, as I said, even in 2nd grade, it was a problem, and I wasn't even living here in the 2nd grade. So, in 2nd grade, it would be the same kind of thing, whereas people who say they do certain things and they never materialize, or, of course, as I'm sure has happened to many children, being picked last for schoolyard games because they realize that you are really not that good of a player because you don't have the good eyesight, you don't have the good hearing, and then, of course, and that adds to a lot of your pessimism over the years, and it just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. And I do want YouTube channel grants, or sometimes they're known as YouTube creator grants. I don't really know what the official title of the Board of Trustees is. I know that I'm communicating with YouTube channel grants. And Mr. Benjamin Weinstein says he's from YouTube creator grants. So I don't know who's who, so I'm just going to try to just call them as I know them, and the ones that I know that are sending me the money is called YouTube Creator Channel Grants, which is the one I have been in email contact with. When I talked to Tina through email, there was a couple of things that she did not mention up front, and I wish she kind of had. Maybe she did, and because of my eyesight, I missed it, or it was somehow buried in the bottom of the pile of options, was that you could send the money directly to PayPal. Well, I was considering that, but the thing was, is because of concerns of phishing scams. remember, I don't know this organization personally. I never physically actually went into their office and filled out a form in their office. So even though Mr. Benjamin Weinstein said he did my packet, he, of course, never actually physically met me. I did not physically fill out a very complicated form, and that led to some really very interesting beginnings of getting kind of confusing, and everybody, and then we all started getting angry at each other. But anyway, when I was told the check by last week, that Tina, she said that the money would be here this week coming up, which I said probably calculating 5 business days, which said, oh, well, in that case, the money should be here Thursday. And I told her in my reply, please send the money by registered certified mail because people steal mail in my building. And obviously, somehow she didn't see that either. And so now we have exactly the situation that I did not want, which was the mail was apparently stolen somehow before it got to my mailbox, or it was stolen from my mailbox. Obviously, it was stolen before my mailbox. That means that someone's intercepting my mail at the postal service, which I don't know how they're doing that, but that's what's happening. I don't know. I do know that obviously what is going on is disgusting, and that yes, technically, in fact, it is not even a technical issue. It's a factual issue that mail theft is very common, and that the person will indeed go to jail for 5 to 20 years if convicted. And that's not even dealing with cashing a check fraudulently and saying that they're me when they're not, okay, into their own personal bank account, which Elmira from YouTube Channel Grants, through communications with me and Google Hangouts, confirmed that this person had deposited the money into a TD Bank Premier checking account or something, and I can't look at it right now because I'm using that phone to videotape this, so I'm going entirely by memory here. She said that they're going to try to contact the bank and see what they can do about it. And I said, oh, I'll send you my copy of my photo ID, and I did, because they can compare it with a security camera to confirm that I'm not telling a lie. So I sent her a copy of my photo ID, and I also sent Tina at YouTube Channel Grants a copy of my photo ID, and I explained what was going on, because obviously Tina and Elmira are probably working with each other, and they probably do know, because Elmira's contact with me came up after about 35-40 minutes after Tina's, and Tina did not know that I had gotten the grant money already. Supposedly I gotten the grant money, which I didn't, of course. The crook did, because the crook apparently went and cashed a check. Obviously they had gone through probably the drive-through, but they already had a bank account with this TD Bank, so when they deposited the check into their own personal checking account, which I think for a crook is pretty stupid anyway, but I guess when you see a check for $5,000, you probably figured, well, no one's going to really trace it. Boy, that's stupid, and yes, they do. But again, I'm also very surprised that the TD Bank itself did not seriously question why the check says paid to the order of MicheleMarieDalene, and yet this person is obviously not MicheleMarieDalene, and why they didn't seriously sound a few alarms of their own. This just could have been a very simply, but on the other hand, if they did sound the alarms and then that person saw that check is not going to be cashed, but now it's being held for pending further investigation, that they probably would have basically fled the scene. And apparently the banks have security cameras almost at every teller station, so there's probably more than likely probably enough facial footage to match the person with the criminal act. What else? Okay, so now we can understand that. Am I hoping that, yes, is YouTube Channel Grants going to send me another check? I'm hoping so, but, you know, even if they actually sent it PayPal, they said they still would have been sending me a letter anyway. So I figured, well, instead of having a situation where it's $5,000 and it's sitting in escrow and I can't get at it until I sign a letter and the letter is stolen, I figured that, okay, I will send me the check and the letter at the same time, so that way I can go ahead and, number one, like I said, I can show you guys the physical check with certain information blacked out, so you know I actually physically did get a check. As well as, obviously, with the letter would be with the check. Well, that's not the way it worked out, unfortunately. So, Mr. Benjamin Weinstein said he wants to talk to the Board of Trustees about this issue and policy changes, and I agree that there has to be some changes in your policies. Maybe I was a little bit mean about it, maybe I was a little bit overheated about it. Well, I was physically overheated. Let's also metaphorically overheated. So, that's the reason I wanted to clear the air this time and calm down and really explain what happened. There's going to be a couple of vlogs today. I'm going to try to break them down into smaller pieces. And the reason is because if they get too long, they get too hard to upload. And so, for right now, let me end this one, and then we'll get around for vlogs 2 and 3. Okay?